Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I rode the Curse at Alton Manor recently and I wanted to share my thoughts on it. I'm going to try and review this ride without any major spoilers, but I will still be talking about certain elements of the ride and making some references, so if you haven't rode the Curse at Alton Manor and want a complete spoiler-free review, then maybe this is not the video for you. First off, the changed look to both the area around the ride and the ride building itself is a positive one. I personally think that it all looks great, much better than what the area looked like for Jewel. When I was there, they had a few actors roaming the area, interacting with guests, which really added to the atmosphere. The whole area just feels more immersive now. It feels more exciting and atmospheric. The area tells more of a story as well, I feel. The one thing that I wasn't too keen on was the Emily silhouette in the window. I've seen footage of what it looks like when it gets dark and it looks great, but during the day it looks a little bit meh. But other than that, there's been a massive improvement. They've added a lot to the queue line and it looks great. Let's talk a little bit about the many nods to Alton Towers past that are found in both the queue line and in the attraction itself. I definitely had a great time spotting as many Easter eggs as I possibly could. What is your favourite reference to the Alton Towers past that you found? Let me know. But yeah, it's safe to say that if you're a big Alton Towers fan and you know the history, then you will definitely be in your element finding all these little treasures. And I just love that they've gone through so much effort in referencing their past with this ride. The Curse at Alton Manor is very reliant on its backstory, and I really love the direction that Alton Towers have gone in with this attraction. The pre-show does a brilliant job of introducing guests to this twisted and dark backstory. It's quick, it's straight to the point, and it is very pleasing to watch. So if you haven't seen the pre-show all the way through, I would make an effort of maybe hanging around the pre-show room and just really soaking in the atmosphere, because I really enjoyed chilling in the pre-show room a little bit and just taking everything in. Speaking of a quite dark, twisted story, I would say that for some younger riders, this ride could maybe be a little bit too intense. There's not really any gore or blood, but at times it is very dark in there, and there are some scenes that could maybe be quite frightening for your younger ones. Just in the 2-day trip to the park that I had, I saw many younger children ride this attraction who were basically just scared, and some even came off the ride crying, so just be aware of that. The ride experience itself is definitely a massive improvement on Jewel, and I think that Alton Towers have done a really good job of not only introducing new things to the ride, but also improving on what was already there. I had watched a POV video prior to doing the ride, but seeing it in real life with my own eyes is just on a whole different level. POVs of this ride online really don't do the ride justice. It seems as though they've kept a lot from the haunted house days and the Jewel variations of the attraction, but they've also added so much as well. I heard a lot of negative things about the hide and seek section of the ride, in which Emily plays hide and seek with you. It's a portion of the ride that takes place in complete darkness, only with audio from Emily. At first I wasn't sure if I enjoyed this part of the ride, but after a couple of goes on the ride I actually quite liked this section, despite the hate that it seems to get. One thing I will say though is that sometimes the timing of the effects were off during my rides. Sometimes it would all be fine, but other times effects would go off once the car had already passed, which is of course far too late. Although the ride really did impress me, at times it feels like it's not quite a fully finished product yet, especially with the timing of the effects still being off. But I can see a lot of potential here. The ride does have a lot of re-rideability, and if you sit in different seats, you're able to notice different things. One thing I will say is that it's a very full-on experience. The Curse at Alton Manor feels like it's just trying to throw everything at you all at once. It's kind of quite overwhelming in that respect. There's a lot going on in this ride, and at times ride vehicles pass through sections quite quickly, so it can be difficult to really take things in and notice everything. I sometimes wish the ride vehicles would just slow down a little bit so that I can take in more of the atmosphere and really just get a good look around. The finale of the ride literally gave me goosebumps. I love what happens in the finale of the ride, and I really appreciate that massive prop that they've put in there. But as impressive as it is, the ending does feel a little bit rushed. I wish the ride would just take more time on the finale section, just to make it feel less rushed. But as a whole, I think Alton Towers have done a great job with this ride, and it's a very, very clear upgrade from what Jewel was, which was definitely looking very run down in its recent years. So that's my thoughts on the Curse at Alton Manor. I do really, really like it. It's got a lot of potential. It's much better than Jewel was. And I think that Alton Towers, they're onto a winner with this one, to be quite honest. But what did you think of this ride? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, click on that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.